A good early retirement strategy is built on maximizing three levers. 1. Income. How much money you are making. 2. Expenses. How much money you are spending. And 3. Savings. How much money you are saving and investing. Welcome, money finders. This channel is for personal finance and entrepreneurs who want to have financial freedom. In today's video, we'll be talking about how to retire early with low income. What is early retirement? Early retirement is no longer defined as the moment when you stop working forever. It's simply the moment when you no longer have to work for money. There's a big difference doing work you love or a job that you could leave if you get tired of it, because you have the freedom and flexibility that saving up enough money can give you. It's been scientifically proven that working is actually good for you, and many people who completely quit working start losing their mental faculties, and people who retire early might actually die sooner. So to me, early retirement means being able to make the shift from work you have to do to work you want to do. The old school idea that when you retire you are done working is just that, an old school idea. Retiring early can seem impossible for most, but there are a lot of ways to increase your savings and reach retirement long before your 60s. Here is how to retire at 40. Number 1. Define early retirement. Retiring early doesn't have to mean never earning a paycheck again, unless you want it to. Many early retirees define it as not having to work to live, that is, financial independence, but maybe you want to leave your corporate job for something more creative where you can make your own hours. Or perhaps you'd like to focus only on non-income producing hobbies or work in spurts and travel in between. The first step on the path of early retirement is figuring out exactly what the phrase means to you. Establishing your ideal day-to-day will make it easier to plan for, but just so you know, it will probably evolve over time. Number 2, make a budget. Since you will probably be spending more on recreation in your retirement years, it's important to account for an approximate monthly recreation budget. You will save money during your retirement in other areas too, like the amount you spend on gas each month for your work commute. So, keep in mind, some areas in your current budget may shift to new areas in your retirement budget. Number 3, cut back on your 3 biggest expenses: housing, transportation, and food. While you can certainly cut back on your small purchases, you are always going to be able to save the most money where you spend the most money. The average family spends over 70% of their income on housing, transportation, and food. Here are the most effective ways to cut back on each. Housing. You should do everything you can to eliminate or even make money on your housing expense. The easiest way to do this is by house hacking, which is a simple strategy where you rent or buy a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment and rent it out the extra rooms to offset, completely cover, or even make money on your rent or mortgage. It's really easy to do and is the fastest way to increase your savings rate, percentage of your income that you are saving, and net worth, your assets minus your liabilities. Transportation. Don't buy a car if you don't need one. If you do, always buy a used car. Food. There are so many ways to save money on food. Make food at home, buy in bulk, eat less meat, calculate your cost per unit when comparing shopping. Wherever you eat out or get your food delivered, you are paying an incredible cost for convenience. Number 4, invest for growth. At the risk of stating the obvious, retiring early means 1. You have a shorter period during which you can save, and 2. You have a longer period during which the money you've saved needs to support your spending. Both of those mean investment returns are going to be your best friend. And to achieve the best returns, you need to invest in a balanced portfolio geared towards long-term growth. We recommend low-cost index funds with an allocation that is tilted towards stocks for as long as you can stomach it. You might think the opposite is true because you have a shorter time horizon before retirement, you should take less risk. But it's important to remember that The time you spend in retirement should be included in that horizon. You might be retired for 40 or 50 years. You need your money to continue to grow during that time. As you approach your planned retirement date, you will likely want to shift a small amount of your savings into safer, more liquid havens so you can tap it without worrying about selling investments at a loss. Perhaps you do that with a year or two's worth of expenses. But the rest should remain invested, slowly shifting to cash as you need it so your money grows and supports that 4% distribution rate discussed earlier. Number 5. Change your attitude towards money. The standard definition of money can be pretty accurately summed up in this article in Psychology Today. In it, money is identified as having a particular kind of value that can be exchanged for other things. It doesn't get any clearer than that. Many of us have assigned great worth to money when in reality it is just useless paper and metal. Although this is true, it cannot be denied that, despite being just paper and metal, it is what allows us to eat and survive. It is not to say that individuals are to dismiss the value of money altogether, but instead alter, to some degree, how we use it and view it. The first step of early retirement is to modify our spending habits and our perceptions of money. As opposed to assigning the spending of money to a better quality of life, cutting out unnecessary expenses is a great practice. The typical savings requirements for income is usually 5 to 15% of a person's salary. However, according to Early Retirement Extreme, increasing savings to 40 to 80% of revenue can enable individuals to acquire six-figure net worth within a few years, which is an actual component of achieving earlier retirement. Number 6. Be allergic to debt. If you have to, pretend you are literally allergic to debt. Debt is the enemy of financial independence and the opposite of it. If you have debt, especially bad consumer debt, you are going to have to focus nearly all of your energy on eliminating it. Plain and simple. Chip away at these debts each week or month. Know your numbers. Know the debts inside and out, and focus on the ones accruing the most interest. If your side hustle, use 100% of that side hustle income to crush your debt. Number 7. Translate your spending into the equivalent early retirement time. Some people aiming for an early retirement have no problem scrimping and saving in all aspects of their life, but that is not true of everyone. If you aren't sure about cutting back, try translating your spending into the equivalent early retirement time. For example, take the often cited coffee example. A quick fast food cup usually costs less than $2 but adds up to around $500 a year. If you indulge in a specialty coffee, that amount could easily double or even triple to $1,500. Number 8. Increase and diversify your income streams. After you've optimized your expenses, the next step is to go out and try to make more money. The more money you make, the more money you can save and invest. There are two places you should start: optimizing your full-time job and starting a side hustle. Back in the day, you do go to school, get a job, work at it for 30 to 40 years, and then peace out into retirement if you made it that far. Your company took care of you with a lifetime pension, free money for the rest of your life. But now, we are left to fend for ourselves. Thankfully, it's never been easier in history to make more money. Today, there are now more tools, strategies, and blueprints for making money. You can learn skills insanely quickly on YouTube in less than a week. You can replicate someone else's blueprint and map it to your own business. And you can join a community of other people who are working together to make money and build wealth. Number 9. Have a solid retirement investment plan. It's not good enough to save money for an early retirement. You also need to have a solid investment plan. However, don't be fooled into thinking that you need to outsmart the market trade every day or find a hot stock tip. On the contrary, you just need a strategy that keeps you ahead of inflation and doesn't put the money you will need at risk. Number 10. Make a backup plan. No matter how foolproof your plan may seem, consider what could go wrong. You may find you hate the unstructured days of early retirement. Would you go back to work? Or the economy could tank, taking your net worth with it. Would you have room to cut expenses? Running through potential worst-case scenarios is essential when your livelihood is on the line. So money finders, what can you add to our list? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, so please join the conversation. Now you stuck with us until the end of the course, you are getting a bonus. Put a plan A into action, but enjoy the present too. Time and discipline are all you need to execute your plan from here on out. Keep saving and investing, but don't forget to live in the present while you can. As early retiree Steve Adcock wrote on his blog, Think, Save, Retire, sacrifice is necessary to retire early, but it's not all we do either. It is important to treat and reward ourselves along the way by celebrating those smaller achievements. To learn more about top 10 amazing ways to save money with low income 2021, click into this video right here. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.